How's it going, Kitsune?
It's going good. It's been a good day.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Who's that in front of the car? Is that you or your significant other?
That's me.
Okay, good to know. So, what build will you be playing today?
It depends on if you want to see Kiara or Jackie more.
We'll play whatever you want. I'm not going to say, like, oh, we played this last time, we shouldn't play again. If that's what you want to play, we can.
Actually, Emma. I want to go with Emma. I still want to be a better Emma.
Okay, yep. Alright.
I feel like good Emmas are impossible to kill.
They really can feel like it sometimes. A good example of that being Lily Dongo. She's just really slippery. And CDR builds really help with that. So, let's go ahead
tend to go Wind and Fire Wheels instead of Fuma.
I know. Just, if that's kind of the ideal you're looking for is, like, survivability, I do think Fuma is better for that. Because, again, CDR, right? The more you can ult, the harder it is to be caught. But, I think there's a lot of different ways to play the character at the moment. I do think Wind and Fire Wheels are a little on the weak end, but we'll see how it goes.
They just buffed them.
They did. I don't feel like it's enough, though, personally, you know?
I'd do Mystic Jade Charm if I could get myself to not auto-attack so much.
Yeah,
but these are the two builds that I use in Ranked.
Yeah,
if lighter zones are contested, I use the no lighters build.
Right. I tried Mystic Jade earlier today, and only having 13 odds was pretty bad. It fucked with me quite a bit. Alright, let me resize this. Pop out. Full screen.
I like how much damage you do super early, and late game you're still kind of relevant.
Yeah. Ken versus Nadine final square. Yeah, that was a bad area for both of us. Atsuya. Like, it's worst possible final zone, so it's like I took what I could. I missed killing the Kiara, but just from missing my Q. And I got this because of it, but it's still LP for me, so whatever. Alright.
What is your opinion of Dobak on Emma?
I don't think I think it's worse than Dazzling Robes. The attack range does nothing for her. Her attack range is already perfectly fine. She doesn't have troubles getting in. The CDR is nice, but I feel like the AP is unnecessary on her because Flat Amp does much better, in my opinion, on the character. So,
yeah.
In a lot of cases, I would just prefer to have Dazzling Dress, or yeah, High Priest Robes, or EOD.
Yeah, I like the High Priest Robes, but it makes this build take way too long, and it takes a lighter.
Yeah, it's not always something that you can fit in, so it's like... I won't say that, like, you shouldn't build it, because you should build whatever's possible, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it gives a lot of really good stats.
Looking at your items, though, I think you could possibly do EOD. It might need one different zone, though.
The primary thing on it is the SP region, honestly, because all the other SP region items are gone from that build.
Yeah, the problem, though, is it's not enough, you know? Like, you're still gonna need to make a bunch of SP items, even with Dobak. So I don't feel like Dobak really saved you from that, you know?
Yeah, I just like that this build does not require SP items at all.
I think you'll still need some for final fights, though, because I have seen, like, even on builds like this, you can run out. Just because, like, if it's, like, a super long fight and you've had to spam abilities for, like, 30 seconds, it's nice to at least make sure you have one or two,
Yeah, I usually have 3 purified water from making the High Priest Robes, but then I just don't have to make anything else.
Right, you can save those till endgame. GG's, though, Atsuya.
And again, this is a build that I made because I almost exclusively run my own builds.
I understand.
This build feels really strong when you get to Hotel. I usually start picking my fights there.
Close my disc. Well, not close it, but move it away and make sure it's silenced. And then let me turn my music down, wherever the hell it's at. There it is.
I'm really bad at Emma ults. That's the main thing I'm not good at on Emma. Because I'm good at continually auto-attacking despite being caster. I'm good at spacing and landing both Qs.
Well, you only really want to use the ult for CC, like self-peel or just keeping people in place, you know?
Yeah, my problem is I try to use it for damage.
Hey guys, it's me, MOTFGAMES. I'm just here to remind y'all that if you're enjoying the content, drop a like and hit the subscribe button down below. Maybe leave us a comment knowing what kind of content you'd like to see going forward into the future. My editor does a really good job on these videos and works really hard, and any little bit of insight you can give us on what you'd like to see more is really helpful. Enjoy the video.
With like the shuriken skill.
That is possible, but I would honestly just kind of admit that that's more of a gimmick, and it can get you killed in a lot of situations. Because there is some good downtime. So I would just avoid that if possible, you know? Because I feel like your damage is pretty fine regardless, like you don't really need it. And shuriken, as long as you're, using it correctly, we'll get more than enough payoff. Nice.
Yeah, I usually don't have trouble with the lighters when school's not super contested because I get here really fast.
Right. You can make your slippers now.
Check carefully.
Boots are the only thing I really harp on people not making fast enough, because the sooner you make your boots, the faster the rest of your build is, right?
Yeah.
See, I knew I could do it.
I usually wait to build anything else until hotel.
So long for my
That's fine.
graduation day to come.
It's also good SP regen, just to have going while you're looting.
Can I come in?
Keep in mind too, that I know you have problems on other builds where you won't be a really high level going into your next zone sometimes, and that can get you killed, right? When you were playing Zahir. Crafting items is one of the ways to help remedy that. So it's like, it may be slower to craft sometimes, but if it gets you like that level that you'll need for the next area, it can be worth it.
Step by step.
This is where I start looking for fights usually.
Right. Do you max Emma passive?
There's a fight happening right above me, I think.
I think this is the kind of character that can look to take fights. Yeah, like you should pretty much be able to get this.
Which part is the best? Or you?
Was she in range for E or no? Also, your
I
doll's not
did
equipped.
E.
Performing for the
Can you equip your
Warriors.
doll before you cast an... Okay,
Effort
perfect.
for the
It's just gonna help your SP region, which is already a struggle in this way.
What could be the best?
I'm just gonna go finish building forest.
That's fine. I think we should have checked the chickens for leather though before we left. Because you do need one.
Trick animals too.
True.
I hope there's something useful.
I do agree with this moving into our next zone.
I'm decent at this.
Yeah, because the fight for tree's about to happen, and I'm not quite strong enough for people who are gonna be there.
It's showtime.
A subject has been terminated.
I think you could actually with these 3 items. It's possible.
Been restricted.
My dog likes these.
Like there are some fights you might lose, but I think you could get out safely.
You whiffed! You whiffed, Adela!
Like pulling a rabbit from a hat.
Very close. So yeah, max passive or no?
I max passive after Q.
There's no
For you.
Take the meat, if there is any.
Step by step.
It wasn't there.
I hope there's something useful.
That's only needs a
Open
bracelet
the
from us,
crate
and then I'm
again.
done.
So myself.
Open
What?
the crate again. Take the Oriental, yeah, and then craft the Oriental concoction. Because you need SP of some or food of some kind right now.
I'm taking away.
I would, yeah, you could do carpet eggs actually. Never mind. I thought you were gonna do bungum pop or whatever the hell it's called.
Useful. What could be inside my hat?
A subject has been terminated.
I'm reminded of my.
You didn't want to fight that one?
No, usually QW is a good indicator of how much damage I can do to somebody
The smile
quickly,
face.
and I know there are other people around.
That's true.
I knew I could.
Now I would have taken that fight. I just wanted to make sure I had my items first.
Gotcha.
It's a gift.
She's still close. Remember, you can drop your hat in bushes to check them instead of walking in yourself.
Nature growing from nothing. That's real magic.
Because if you walk into a bush with a,
Barbara, yeah, I could just
Yeah.
die.
Right. Or in this case, Gadget. There's a very good hat.
If I could ever remember to use food, I could win fights.
I was going to say, I do think you would have won that if you had eaten. So I was going to mention it earlier, but I wanted to see if maybe there was a reason or not, or if you would eat food. When you craft your food, I want you to place it on slot 1, and then I want you to keep your drink on slot 2.
Oof, that's gonna be hard to get used to.
Do you normally keep your drink somewhere else?
I normally keep wards on slot 2 and
That's
my
fine.
other weapon on slot 1.
Do you really need another weapon though on this?
I was an Alex main, remember?
I understand.
That's just where I learned my buttons.
Right. So it's like you could put
But,
them on
yeah.
3 and 4 if that's more like normal for you, but you need to have them in a dedicated spot.
Yeah, that's my downside is I click them.
Slow them. And when you're kiting, you can't really afford to do that.
Well, overall, what did you think of that?
No, the build's fast, the build's fine. I think you could contest Trey if you wanted, and then Scotty is better than Dropnir for sure. So
I
you
don't
could keep
think
that in
so
mind.
on Emma. I think Glacials would be the better option.
Glacials can be, but I value Scotty mostly because of the bonus HP that it gives as well. Scotty is more of a damage upgrade in the early game than Glacials is to Slippers though. So if we're getting it that early, that's normally why people build Scotty instead. And of course the HP.
Yeah, every time I've built Scotty, I found myself just unable to hurt people late game.
I'm gonna pull something up on the side while we do this.
Let's take to the stage.
I mean, your damage kind of falls off late game anyways with this character, right? Your damage is just going to drop, and it's just the natural way for this character. But that's why making sure you're landing multiple abilities is so important with her. Like, it's going to take 3 to 4 damage rotations late game, just because of how much more HP people are going to have.
Yeah, but like I've been against like Magnus's and Sua's, and 8 damage rotations puts them at half health.
Yeah, that's nothing that you can really do about though, because they're normally Sua not exactly, but Magnus, for instance, is building Amazoness armor every game, and that's cutting your damage by like 20%. So it's like you're losing a bunch of damage just because he's itemized against spell damage so hard right now. Like they're doing Banneret as well. That's another, I think, 12% off. So it's like you're losing almost 30% damage just to his equipment, right? Which sucks. But Scotty and Glacials will help with that because they are true damage. But landing both hits of Q becomes more important in that sense, you know?
Yeah.
Which can be hard.
I usually don't have any problems with that. I've come from a background where I played almost exclusively skill shot characters in League. So the fighting portion of this game comes really easy to me. It's the items and using food and grabbing vision, things like that. That's where I fall short.
Right.
Two questions about that build.
This one?
Should I
On
take
me?
about my build. Should I take the dog between school and hotel? Or is that taking too long with a white weapon?
I'd finish your weapon first and then do the chickens or do the wolves.
Alright. I usually do the wolves. I walk past that dog every time.
Right.
And I'm always wondering, should I be stopping to take it? The other question is, should I be trying to find a cards in hotel and a pin in school to get vintage cards for Death Rune, or no?
I don't think so, no.
That's an interesting.
Oh, that's not good.
It's a gift.
I also just don't understand how Crit Emma does any damage. Every time I've played Crit Emma, I've just not done any damage.
Your damage is still mostly from your spells. The crit is more of like a side bonus. You don't focus entirely on it.
It's a gift. For you.
16th and ranked is rough.
It is.
What could be inside my hat? What could be inside
I recently picked up Peach, and she feels a lot like LeBlanc.
Really?
Her abilities are nothing like LeBlanc's abilities, but her playstyle is LeBlanc.
Kind of, yeah.
You don't like sit there
abilities.
and kill people and like stay in fights. You like burst somebody and fear them and use that fear to leave and then burst somebody again. It's sort of a LeBlanc playstyle.
Okay, so I just went into practice mode and tested it. Drop near is
What could be inside my hat?
ever so slightly more damage than Scotty until around 110 armor, and then past 110 armor, it's in favor of Scotty. So much to the point that I think Scotty is just the better choice, right? Because I'm talking like if the opponent has 70 armor, your WQ will do 30 less damage, and I don't mean both abilities, I mean in total, right? So it's like trading off 30 damage from our combo for like close to 300 HP. I think that's worth it.
She came and looted these. I
And
don't
then
think she
as
takes
the
buff,
armor
though.
continues up, it gets more favorable. So if you can have Scotty over Glacials, Scotty over Drop Near, I would take it every time.
Go down this way instead.
And then... Yeah, this is kind of rough.
Hello?
But
Yeah,
you can
but
grab
it's
one
flexible.
here and TP out. I agree, yeah. Like this is fine.
Usually
like,
I just
would
walk
still
this
TP
wall
out, I
instead.
think, actually. Like you can check this box, but I would still TP out because you can get the cloth in hotel. So it's like even if we miss one, it's whatever. It's just accessory. And then if we make glacials, you're only seeing an 8 damage increase per auto or per ability. So, and that's level 16, by the way. Early game, it's more favored towards Scotty. Just because your base damages won't be as high on both your abilities.
Let's show them what I'm made of.
And what's your opinion on Uchiwa versus White Crane Fan?
White Crane Fan's better for this. The SP regen isn't there, which sucks, but it's more flat amp, correct?
Then I got kicked out.
Or it's similar. I believe White Crane Fan should have like 2 higher.
Oh, I can't click the box. I had to go out of vision to click the box.
Yeah. And then the big reason though is healing reduction. Healing reduction is very important considering your fights are going to go long. And movement speed.
I was thinking the move speed because you're using sneakers.
Yeah, move speed is for sure good. You could do the wolves if you wanted though.
Pulling a rabbit from a hat. Now we're getting somewhere.
Perfect.
It's fine to make something just okay. Can I
This
come in?
should be Magnum Boa Aya.
Check carefully.
Unless Glock can be built in this route and I just don't know it yet.
Step.
I don't think
I'm
it
pretty
can.
sure it can. You get the laser pointer here, and
I guess you get
because
cameras
I see Razzies with Glock on this route.
A new area has been restricted.
Let's do it. Why don't you take it?
I was checking the bush. Oh, no inventory space.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't craft the highballs. I thought I did.
That's fine. We've already got the ice. You're just going to need to do Crimson Bracelet now, I think.
Yeah. Spiked plank and bracelet. Use both rocks. Super efficient. I don't need this anymore.
Like pulling a rabbit from a hat. It's a gift. Let's show them what I'm made of. I'm decent at this, if I do say so myself.
Actually, I need water. I didn't realize.
That's real magic. Let's just leave it at this.
For headpiece, yeah.
I'm decent at this.
Yeah, I forgot this build uses both of your waters.
Where are we going now?
Look at me inside my
Avenue for nail. And then
And
pond
then-
for a mousetrap.
Okay.
Whoa! I just saw a squirrel. Like pulling a rabbit from a hat.
Good damage.
Don't think I win that fight.
Not
But
if you
I also have a-
are like in darkness now.
Yeah,
Like,
I have
you
a
keep
major
distance.
bias against fighting lead islands because I always lose,
I
no
understand.
matter who I'm playing.
With Emma, you just have to keep the mindset that your entire game plan is basically poke. You know?
Yeah.
A new area has been restricted.
Lots of people
There
in
you go. It's in
pond.
there. Oh, that works too.
I got the nail.
Go in. Wait, open that crate again and make white crane pen. Or it's only the gilded, the one next to it. Has both of the items you need. And then you'll need the other nail as well. Because if we can make white crane pen, I think it's worth swapping too.
Look at me inside my hat.
Okay.
Cute, a fish. Pulling a rabbit from a hat.
There's the mousetrap in there.
Yeah. Perfect.
I just wanted to I wanted to check the bat for a
I got you.
camera because sometimes people forget to pick up the camera off of them.
A subject has been terminated.
I'm decent at this, if I do say so myself.
A subject has been terminated.
Alakazam!
Oh, it cancels that. Okay.
It couldn't possibly fall for
Yeah,
this.
okay. Let's open this blue crate above us. You need food.
Cute, a fish.
And then we'll just look for fights at that point. You do know there's the Shenwu below, who could be an
Yeah.
easy fight, but may not be. Meteorite's okay, I guess.
Meteorite's good for drinks.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that
Oh,
right
these
now,
rocks are
though.
gone.
Yeah. Do you think you can fight him or catch him?
Who's that?
He does look weak.
Hope there's something
You can
useful.
probably drop the bracer that you're holding onto. Pick up that
I was
flower
keeping it for
zero,
odd
right?
worms.
I wouldn't swap the auto arms, to be honest. I would swap to like Emerald Tablet,
Water is
maybe,
great
but
for optical illusions.
Tiara could be really good though. I think this is one of those characters who falls in line that auto arms I don't think ends up being best in slot over Scotty. Temple's fine. We can head in there. But there's also pings on the left. What do you want to do?
I'm looking for. Oh, I want to go to cemetery next.
A new area
Okay.
has been restricted.
Because if I can get that tree of life, I can make Death Rune. Because I already have the meteor now.
True.
Water is great for optical illusions.
Is Death Rune worth it?
A subject has been
It's 30 more AP, and I believe a little bit more skill amp. Might be the same skill amp.
It's 5% skill amp, yeah. I think Sudnasara might be better than Death Rune.
Stop all this nonsense.
I usually go that. Actually, I wasn't thinking about that. I usually grab an extra eraser in school.
For you.
I wasn't thinking this time.
For you.
Somebody just took it.
Look at the inside my hat. It's a gift. It's a gift. Technology is magic. For you.
It does look like Death Rune is more damage, but Nasara is more charges, which means you can get more autos off. Like the damage doesn't seem too big of a difference.
Oh, it doesn't particularly matter at this point anyway, because the tree's gone.
Look at the inside
Yeah.
my hat.
Back to looking for food.
I think if I had to pick between the two, I would probably end up picking Nasara, but
For you. This is my house.
good little poke. Killed the bat.
Look at the inside my hat. I remember you.
I don't have inventory space for the,
You can
Wait.
for the what?
Which part is the
for the camera.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to fall really behind on weapon mastery.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Temple, because we can still find the Oriental Herb there, and we can also kill bears while we're there.
cute? A fish.
Temple has herb.
A subject has been terminated.
Well, that Tiara just died, which means that Tsukai does not have ult.
So we speak. Let's
There's
go.
no way he killed her without ult.
You also knew those are Luke above, so you can pressure Zukai into going into an unfavorable spot. You can loot the Kiara body as well. I wouldn't worry about the other camera too much. That's his. The Zukai's already moved on.
I actually do need that food.
I think we dropped the cards at this point.
What
Because,
Surprising
we pretty much agreed, or at least I said, I don't know if you agree, that, Sunasar is better.
Yeah, but I'd have to go all the way back to school, right? Or does
Yeah,
Chapel
that's
have?
fine. There's a few places that have razors. Hold on.
The hospital's already closed.
Chapel has them, and then and school's fine. Like, you'll find it there. No one takes those, really.
I remember you.
But that's assuming we have, like, Force Core for Wickaline, you know? Which we didn't set up for Wick, we went for, Tree instead. Which isn't terrible, but, yeah, there you go. Okay, now we have potions. We definitely want to be looking to take fights now. I don't think I'd make that. Because you've already,
already
got a
have some.
bunch. Yeah, but the ramen on
I was
its
just gonna
own is
immediately
kinda
eat one.
bad. I gotcha, it's just... We want to be making garlic ramen, and I don't think you ever find more than 4, so I don't feel like the rest of the ramen ends up going to good use. Because we're gonna have more than enough food by the time we're done with this, you know?
Okay.
So I think saving it to make more boiling water, or not boiling water, sorry, purified water, or like another SP item might have been better. But it's not a big deal. Little early?
One carrot?
That was good. You need to throw a Q?
Subject has been terminated. A subject has been terminated.
You need to make sure you're throwing your Q. You don't have to run from her, you can continue fighting that.
If she taunts me, I just lose, right?
A new area has
I wouldn't
Like,
say
I just die from
lose.
full.
You won't die fully, because you have over 2k HP.
In such a quiet place.
But it's like... Any character in the game has something that they do that if they, like, hit you with something, you're just gonna die. But you're Emma, so it's like the moment the taunt ends, you can just, like, W ult away. I definitely think that's worth taking the risk. You're going to have to take some risks, you know?
I thought
And
that was the point of playing Emma, to not have to take risks.
If you don't want to take any risks, you should be playing Tank Magnus instead.
a subject has been terminated.
You play Emma to win. She's safe, but you still have to, like, take fights, you know?
Narrow streets with traces of people.
And since you had already chunked her down to 2/3, I feel like we could have kept going for it.
I'm so sorry. I'll
Kabano's not worth it, if that's what you're questioning.
No, I was thinking the Gaoxian.
Gojon can be, yeah, for sure.
Has been terminated.
We can drop the gilded and pick that up instead, and then wear that over what you have.
If
you don't want to, you don't.
You know
have
what?
to.
I have the honey water. I think I'm good.
You've also got Scotty, which has more SP regen. Like you're gaining 20 SP a second.
Nobody will magically appear in front of me.
Another cabana.
My school was pretty strict.
What are we doing? Oh, never mind.
I was going for the razor.
Make sure you eat. Hit one.
I only need a few minutes.
I want you to get used to using that button though instead of clicking it.
This way.
Tread carefully.
Keep in mind he's right below you. There you go. That was good.
My school was pretty
There you
strict,
Q.
so it was even more fun to pick.
There you go.
A new
Even if you
area
miss, it's fine as long as we're making that action. You're a poke character, so it's like when at range like this, you can fight her. She just jumped. But she's already kind of moved on.
Or you. Which part is for that?
That's fine.
Also be inside my hat.
This is perfect. This is basically exactly what I want to be seeing from you for the rest of these.
This way.
Or you. I remember you.
Stop and rest, please. Oh, that's fine, I guess, if you wanted to use your food.
Let's rest.
A
I couldn't rest. I was still in combat from the dog.
I gotcha, that's fine.
Consecutively eliminating survivors. 5 survivors.
There's a lot of people around you. It would have been nice if we picked up console vision. Just remember there's a Rio to your left.
Huh?
Yeah, good. You have
I'm
a
trying.
odd fixation with hugging walls on this character.
Because she can go over them.
Yeah, but you're still better off taking the fastest route when walking between zones. You know, like if you were walking, I'll talk after.
Walking is also
You've got this.
magic, no?
Okay,
It's a
throw Q.
Take my chances.
Perfect. See what I mean? Like you could win that fight at that point if you keep committing to it. Because he's already at like 1/3 left. A lot of stuttering though.
rest in peace. Look at the inside my
I need a
hat.
few minutes.
A new area has been restricted.
We're a little close. Okay,
Messy.
EM.
It's a gift.
That's fine too.
My assistant.
Oh, come on, babe.
This way.
My
I
assistant.
won't let it get messy.
Ooh, he cut to the left.
My chance.
Huh? Which part is that?
Good, you hit both.
Let it get messy. This way.
Use E.
Focus. This way.
A subject has been terminated.
That was very close. He
A
caught you.
subject has been terminated.
Yeah, Dragon Dobak. OP.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things in that fight you did very well. And there's one specific section that I want to like take a second to look at with you.
Alright.
I think out of all the bits that we, like all the little fights that we've had, I even though you died there, I think that was probably one of the best ones we've seen. Dying, you know, obviously there were ways to improve, but that doesn't mean that everything you did was bad. There were a lot of sections in that fight I actually think you did very well, and that's kind of what I want to take a second to look at. Okay, so pull this up. It should be like right here. It's a little bit after. Okay, So it's like right here, right? So you start coming in. This is what I mean by the wall thing, though, really fast. So we see the rail. You do very well with the rail. You land Q. W.
I thought
You
the
start
ult was
coming
cooler
back,
there.
and then like I don't see a reason to go to here. You know, you can just walk straight. Because if let's say someone walks up right here, the only difference between right this spot and this spot is that on this spot you could go into here, but you're gonna want to teleport into the building regardless. So there's no reason to not just like take the fastest route, you know?
Okay.
Because like even when you're in this position,
I looted the car there. I think I looted the car there, right?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I
think that was my plan.
I gotcha.
Because I'm still looking for the razor for Sudrasana.
I don't think at this point we ever get it, though. I think by this point I had given up on the idea of it because the chances of us getting what we need are very low. There was a tree of life there, coincidentally enough, and we do have a meteorite, but we have to focus on this first, right? So you escape, you're doing fine, but he's chasing, and you understand that. So at this point, the moment you see him, you just need to throw Q, right? So you throw Q here, you do QW, and then he comes back on you. We get the root. Throw Q again. This is perfect. Like, this is the situation you want to be in. Look at the health difference here now, right? You win this fight at this point if you continue to play correctly. So here, I would drop Caltraps, right? And then he, like, has to start backing off, but you can walk forward with him then, because you have Caltraps as, like, a safety, right? If he turns back to you, what's he gonna do? E into you and take the Caltraps damage? Then you just Q him and he's dead. You also have passive backup, so you're a little safer. So I feel like this is the situation where you needed to turn. The moment that you got that, like, W with both Qs, that was huge. Because it's such big damage. And I feel like you're being just a little too cautious, too safe, you know? It's like, yeah, he could kill you here, but you have the advantage. You should be killing him here. There's always going to be upsets, right? Maybe he does something ridiculous and outplays you. Maybe you go and drop Caltraps and then, like, WQ, but he throws up parry. You just have to be mindful of that. And when he goes for that parry, that's when you have to, like, ult out of the way, you know? Or make sure you sidestep the damage from that.
My brain is screaming at me there. I am down 5 weapon mastery.
Yeah, but look at the damage you did to him. It doesn't matter. You know? This is what I mean every time I say, like, the weapon mastery is not nearly as big of a disadvantage as you think. You're only down 2 levels. He has a lot more weapon mastery, but you did literally a third of his HP with 2 abilities. You could do that again, you know? So here, we walk up a little bit too much. We're not respecting our opponent enough. He could have stepped back in and queued here, which he does try to.
Didn't know he was there. I was looking for him so I could avoid him, and then I ran right into him.
I understand. We reacted a little bit too slow on it. It happens. We saw a vision of him here, and then we didn't see him, so we can assume he comes back down, and then, yeah, you just didn't react fast enough. It happens.
Yeah, I thought he went in the building.
So we get
I was trying to get out of there.
Now, here's the problem with this W, right? This W is our lifeline, but you've used it to do damage on him here, which in some cases it's fine, but in this spot, it's very dangerous when he's right in your face, because now you can't ult over this wall to make sure that you don't get hit by ult, right? You could have, though, let's see, you Q and then you W. In this situation, if you had put your W a little bit further out, you could have ulted to the hat and been fine, but you take this ult, and that's what really puts you in a bad spot. You do ult the hat eventually, and you start getting back from him. You're doing kind of fine. You're throwing your Qs. I think yeah, this is the spot where I wanted you to E, because he's like coming in and you need to walk back this way. So putting E on him there was more important than ulting and hatting, because you don't want to get hit by another Q, because it's dangerous right now. Your health is really low. You want to throw another Q, you do. It does good damage. And we just keep walking. Your passive's back up. So like autoing could be nice, but it's dangerous. You do get it, and that's fine. You drop your Caltraps. And then here, he just reacts fast, right? You take the damage anyways because he's already buffered the auto. Unfortunate. Yeah. But my biggest point here is it's like you're so afraid of this guy who's snowballed, but it's like you've already outplayed him once and already got him close to death, but you kind of disengage and let him heal back up to full. And the moment you let him heal back up to full, he's back at advantage, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he is stronger than you, but at this point, the health difference makes that up. And this is kind of the beauty of this character. If you play correctly and you play patient enough, you'll find situations like these. You will be able to make these kind of fights happen. You don't have to like be super afraid all the time. You are a poke character, which is why back in this part, I'm kind of harping on you so much to use your Q when you see your opponents, because this is what your character does best. So like when you see this 11, yeah, there's a Yuki nearby and you don't want to fight her, but you can poke her, you know, you can throw the Q, because that's just gonna deter her from fighting even more. She get hits by the ability, she'll take a little bit of damage, and she might be like, oh, the Emma's looking for a fight, and I've already taken poke damage, you know? So
my brain always assumes my opponents are thinking at max capacity. Like, that they will see the Q damage, be like, oh, that's their damage output, I can beat them.
But that's consistent output. It's you have it back up in like 2 seconds, right? When you Q, it's a 3-second cooldown, I think. So just because you throw Q doesn't mean that it's like, oh, Emma threw Q, I can go in. It's 5 seconds, but still, that's never like the worry. They're looking out for ult, right? Because when you ult, you have a short cooldown before you can use it again, and then there's like 10-second stacks on it when it's maxed, I think. So don't be afraid to throw Q and W. Just keep in mind that you want to keep W in a position where like you can ult to it, you know? This was fine. When you walk up to the 11 and you Q her and W here, this is what I want to see almost every other time. You don't have to W every time, but at least throwing Q. W is good. Keep in mind against characters who can't get on you that well. So like 11 is perfect. You can poke her with W and Q all day, because 11's the only way 11's going to get on top of you in a like quick second is if she commits ult. And if she commits ult E onto you, that means she can't taunt you immediately, so then you can ult in. So you have to know which characters it's safe to W onto and which ones it's not. So like Yuki, it is not safe to use hat for poke, because then he can just dash on top of you. And then yeah, you can teleport to the hat, but he can W and then dash onto you again. So he's one that it's like, I wouldn't do it immediately. You can do it eventually, but just don't start every fight with W against Yuki. And then Shoichi is another good example of that.
So am I assuming correctly in that Lee Dailin's another character I don't want to W against?
Pretty much. Lee Dailin is someone you have to make sure you're holding space very well against. So if Lee Dailin comes on top of you, like, and she's queuing onto you fast, you need to hat away, because then you need to just keep distance, because if she gets close and silences you, you're basically dead. And that's what you need to be the most afraid of in that matchup. So we can go ahead and queue for another one. And just keep in mind, going into this next one, I want you to be a little bit more aggressive. You don't have to run people down, but when you see someone and you have everything finished, just throw Q at them, it's free. It's actually free.
I would like to actually show my Jackie this time if I can.
Yeah, no, that's fine too.
Like, I'm mentally noting the things that you are saying to me and will be applying them. But like, I'm trying to learn a lot.
I understand. No, you don't have to, like, I don't expect to see progress immediately, you know?
Have you seen progress from the last time we did this?
I would say so. I think you're a lot more, I think you're a little bit better about your routing. Your routing seems much cleaner. You're selecting better builds, you know? Not that your last builds were bad. Yeah, not that your last builds were bad, but these are closer to what is more acceptable in this current meta. So yeah, that's good. And then I would say you still have problems with food, right? You're in this habit where you click your food to eat it. I want you to get into the habit of using your hotkeys, because that was the thing I didn't go back and look at, but I did mention against that 11, you should have eaten food a lot earlier, but you have to like click out to where you want to go to make sure you're still moving, and then click your food. That takes a while, you know? That's like 2 seconds of healing you could have had before, which is about 100 HP depending on the food, if not more.
Yeah, I did start using the button in the Yuki fight.
Yeah, and you did very well.
I mentally told myself to.
And yeah, Saeem brings up a very good point, that Mastery is a percentage bonus on damage. So hit Catalog for me. Or actually Collection, sorry. Collection, Emma. info. So we're going to be looking at where her scalings are. So for every
Take to the stage.
mastery you don't have, that's 2% skill amp you're missing. That's not 2% total damage, that's 2% skill amp. There's a difference, right? So it's like, if you had the same level as mastery as that you'd be doing maybe 8% more damage in total, but like that's not game changing, you know?
Yeah.
So this is one of those reasons why I say like the mastery difference isn't too huge. The only time it really is a difference is if they have weapon skill and you don't, or if they have level 2 weapon skill and you don't, which the Yuki did, but two-hand parry, level 1 and level 2, no diff. They use it exactly to like deny damage. Level 1 and level 2 both do that. You know?
Yeah.
Caltraps, big difference. Level 2 caltraps do a lot more damage than level 1 caltraps. But it's the same percent scaling at every level, starting at what you see at level 1, which makes it easy to kind of see, you know?
Yeah.
Two hands, I think, is much more into like attack speed and normal attack amp. Its skill amp isn't too much.
Yeah, it is.
But it's pretty good regardless. Yeah, it's 1.5% on skill amp, but it's got much better attack speed scaling, and then the normal amp is just slightly better. I'm gonna take a second to get up, and then I'll be back hopefully before we start the next game. All right?
All right.
I'll keep an eye on things though. I want to say hi to the girlfriend now that she's home. Oh, still waiting.
Indeed. Oh,
Perfect.
no, you came back in time.
Is it time for hide and seek?
Okay, so we're going to be playing the skill amp Jackie build. Or it's not skill amp, it's flat. You're just abusing weapon skill. But yeah.
Yeah.
Keep in mind this build can cheese people in school and get some early kills coming from archery range if you're fast enough.
I usually grief people a bunch, but I don't usually manage to get
The kill.
kills in school.
I think a lot of
Like,
it has
I'll
to do with don't engage on them with E, just walk up to them. Be patient.
No,
with it.
I'll like, they're seeing zone 2 expecting everybody to be looting their stuff, and I'll just walk up to them and double auto, Q, double auto.
Q first before you auto. It's more damage.
It is, but the Q resets your auto.
It does, but they're gonna start walking away anyways. I don't imagine, once you start playing against better people, I don't imagine you're going to get the second auto consistently in that time, you know? So it's like, if we
The
can
people
Q
I
auto
most
attack, you can
commonly-
guarantee more damage.
The people I most commonly play against with this build are the people in Pi's lobbies, so like Nine Averse, the top people.
I gotcha. And to be honest, your base attack speed with dual swords is so high that it's like, I don't think it's too big of a difference. The time to do it, whether you auto Q auto or just Q auto auto, should be around the same.
Yeah, I noticed it when I was fighting animals later in the game that it was just a lot more early damage output to auto first and then Q.
Yeah, if you can get
Because
the second auto off, for sure.
The slow part about dual swords auto is they have a lot of wind down after their attack before they start their next attack, and you can just cancel that. I learned that from playing Riven.
The way auto attacks work in this game, you still have the same delay amount even if you cancel your auto. It is different from League. But that's something that, like, you get that misconception a lot in this game from a lot of people. They think League Island works the same way as Riven, where you cancel your auto attack animations to, like, do them faster, and it's the same regardless.
Well, I'm not, like, exactly saying to cancel the timer. It's just the wind down timer from the auto is happening during the queue.
No, I understand, just...
The experiment will now begin.
I felt like...
I accidentally started Q instead of E. Whoops.
Yeah, it's fine.
I usually get 2 jumps in Temple. But I will make do.
You got mana for 2 jumps? That must be nice. Playing Kenwu, I only have mana for a single to E. Or, yeah. Poverty.
Let's see what's in here.
We're only gonna get 1 cloth, 1 paper this game.
No, delay. Oof.
I wouldn't do that, I would just go to school first.
Oh.
Is someone
Because
hiding
all the
behind
people who want to be here for papers have already taken them. So whether you come here second or third is not gonna matter too much. You got lucky, I guess. Alright, good stuff.
It usually works. Oh yeah, I missed the cloth.
Just means that you can't make Uchiwa this game yet.
You
You'll
know,
be able to do it going into hotel though, because we do go hotel, right, or no?
no,
Okay, then yeah, we'll get there eventually. Fuck it.
I usually go up to Avenue, or I'll just exit out the side of school usually and go down the little hallway in Avenue
Okay, yeah.
if
we'll
I
get
miss
here
cloth.
Ooh, who's
Just like that.
there? Everyone better be worried.
Forgot to get rid of my overlay. Oh well,
What animals hide in a
it's
forest?
not a big deal.
Are there any bears? Oh, I can't wait to use this. Let's see what's in here.
Oh wait, I was supposed to go alley.
A subject has been terminated.
Can I just bounce around now? Opened.
Because that means we won't have
Subject
rockers
has been
yet.
terminated.
I think it's worth it to do the boar.
Worth using.
A new area has been restricted.
Do what?
I think it's worth it to do the boar. Hits fast, and it could drop Iron Chain.
You are. You'll dull my knives. Don't trip on any
Do you want to do the
roots
wolves or
while
no?
you run.
I'm looking for these footsteps.
A subject has been terminated.
Bounty.
I think, yeah,
Was really
I wouldn't commit ult so quickly there.
These houses
Everything
are
else was
pretty
fine, though.
Just deserted.
I thought she had already used her E. I get confused between her E and her Q way too often.
Alright.
Boring. Where are the people? Come out.
Did we
where-
use one of our waters already for SP?
Open up.
No. I used it for sword.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can't wait to use this. Haha. Can I just bounce around now? Is somebody following me?
And then bear for the leather. And weapon experience.
Right.
Found you.
And good food, apparently.
I would still make hamburgers rather than doing fried chicken first. Just
Yeah,
because
to get rid of the bread.
Yeah. That's fine, it's bulk. And then I would probably... No, I meant the ramen. The ramen's bulk. Like, bulk healing. You don't have a lot of healing, so like you can pick up the ramen to get a little bit better at,
Yeah. I eventually get Shah Jahan though, so picking up the sheath was big.
Okay. Let's do the bear on the left and then the wolves.
I still need a rock.
There's rocks, or should be rocks over next to the vending machines on our way down.
Yeah.
Found you.
A new area has been restricted.
So much bread. Drop the can-cans. Or whatever the hell they're called in this game.
Clank ladder.
Ugh, this takes too long. Uh-oh. What a very narrow...
Keep the other rock for if I get Scotty.
Subject has been terminated.
Use this. You up.
Now gonna check them.
A subject has been terminated.
You want to take this fight in archery range or the one up in alley?
Oh, I was gonna check for a bracelet, but yeah. You said there was one in archery range? I didn't see those pings.
Those kinda silly.
I believe that was the Nikki dying to someone, but yeah, they're further down, and then there's someone next to the console as well, so there's two people.
Can I just
That's an Emma. I'm not gonna be able to kill that.
A subject has been terminated.
The correct move is definitely leveling up your ultimate, but okay.
found you? Found you.
Yeah.
That's still
We can't
there.
catch it, she has more base MS. You've let Kira brainwash you into not leveling your ultimate, haven't you?
Who's Kira?
Wraith Kira, the rank 1 player in NA?
Oh, Kira.
A subject
No.
has been terminated.
Really don't.
That's
know
something he
sense
likes to
of
say, like,
I
leveling
don't
ultimate's
value
not
his
worth
opinion
it.
very much anymore.
He's still a good player,
I used-
just, I feel like he has some hot takes. And that's one of them. that I've
After
never
he called
agreed
himself the best Alex player and then was wrong on 3 points versus me about Alex, I do not respect his opinion very much anymore.
with. I think he is the best Alex player in NA, though.
Oh, I'll admit he's the best player, but that doesn't mean he's always wise or always smart about it.
Agreed. He's very opinionated when it comes to abilities. I like the guy, but I think
Oh, he's a
there will
cool
be,
dude, yeah.
continuing in the future, a lot of moments where me and him disagree. It'd be nice if we get some stamina while we're here, by the way, so
It's
we
not
can loot
I'm
that.
tired.
I usually don't have any stamina issues. Even in
guess.
long fights.
A new
I like
area has
having
been
at least one set of stamina, you know, even if it's just like that bottle of soju. You know, that's perfect.
A subject has been terminated.
I'm gonna go get I'm gonna go get the water here and just make some boiled water.
Okay.
Was heated oil there.
Refreshing. Are there any rooms left? It'd be even better if
There.
I had a neighbor.
No bear.
Heading
Vision.
to forest is probably the best. Or going back to alley because your bear should be spawning soon. I
Alright.
think much better than staying here where the bears already seem to be off cycle.
Come out, boy.
That bear's still alive.
That's the
Or is
bad.
that not a bear? Okay. Oh yeah,
Even
these
if
bears
it is
just
still
died.
up, yeah, they're level 5, so it's like they're not worth it compared to your level 12 bears, which will be spawning right now. Because if you were in alley right now killing that bear, it could drop a force core for you, which changes your entire game plan, you know?
What do I get with the force core?
Probably auto arms.
Firewood.
True.
Or Elysian Halo to change off of your moto helm. You could even do Boots of Hermes, to be honest, because I don't actually think that your boots are that big of a deal. Like, of course,
I
it's
thought
great.
the extra skill damage was huge for weapon skill.
It can be, but if we're like, let's say you get like, let's say you had like Myth Shield already or something, and then you've got a Moonstone, you could just transition to like a normal auto attack build and probably do okay at that point with Boots of Hermes. So I'm not saying that like that's what I would build, but it is an option, you know?
Is this big here? No.
The more that we transition to like another build, the better Hermes becomes.
Ah. Okay. Good hit.
White Crane Fan, I believe, is better than what you've got, right?
You miss out on 5 damage per hit.
Is it 5? I thought White Crane was 21.
White Crane Fan's 18.
Okay.
I can go double check it for you.
I mean, it's fine.
They're already dead.
What does she have for headpiece, by the way?
Disappointing.
Moto Helm.
I should pray for them.
Okay, yeah.
Area has
Sorry.
been restored.
Continue.
You
There's 3 people fighting to the right. Yeah, I would
Rat
absolutely...
Jackie, you say?
I would
Rat Jackie, you
absolutely
say?
look to,
It would have been nice. to
I'd
have
absolutely look to third party this because they're all on top of each other. It's like... Case in point.
Friggin' pole!
She's probably gone now, so I would back off. Yep. Kill the dog. I think the D scale was a little ambitious though, because you have to make sure that you get a bleed on them first, so you get most of the damage. Your W does apply a huge amount of damage to your D scale, because every hit is considered an on hit as well. So it
They
gets the bonus
recently
damage.
changed that.
Did they?
Yep, that was a bug. They disabled Jackie in ranked and fixed it.
No, that was applying it. That's when they was applying it twice.
Oh.
They didn't remove the whole interaction, I'm pretty sure.
It would have
But
been
we can double check it later.
lots of people here.
Yeah, because the biggest problem was Jackie's D skill was applying on hit effects.
There's
twice
fighting down
instead of
there.
once.
Hey,
You can do
Wick.
Wick.
I can't do Wick with this build, not with people nearby.
Okay.
So much fun.
When he jumps up, you can turn around on him. This works too. Fuck it. Good shit. Very good shit.
Always
Take all his food, because he's got way better shit than you do.
Yep. Just gonna
And
eat
then,
both of these. Take
Wickleland's in
that.
pond, so keep that in mind.
Do
hit
I
fire.
want the Imperial Crown or no?
Yes, you want the Imperial Crown. And then...
I don't know what does more at this point, the AP from Helm or the Crown.
No, it's fine. Keep moving. Wickleland's right above you at pond. It said she's in avenue, but she stepped back in from pond on the top end. You can see it on the camera. So it's like you should have
Alright.
just stepped in, because she may be walking down. This is fine. You can third party this. Good shit. I'm glad you backed off, because all your burst is gone now, so it's like you're not going to be able to get the kill on the Linux anyways.
Yep, I'm not even looting that body with a Linux nearby. I hear Wick.
Yep. We don't have ult, but you can still poke it with Q. So stick next to it and then Q auto and start kiting it.
Oh, that still hit me.
Don't go for the autos, just keep walking from it. You're taking more damage from Wick than you're doing to her with your auto attacks, so just land Q in that situation. And then keep going away. She pretty much gets it for free, but if you step up, yeah, chase down that. Because if she gets it, then that could be really bad for us, you know?
And my ult and D skill are back up.
Right. Make sure to drop a camera in the bush.
It's gonna flood.
As long as there's 2 people here, this is fine.
Found you.
And let's check the Jackie body. Oh! You can sneak it. Just jump. Good shit.
I knew I needed to get that really fast.
Yeah, no, you did it fine. We've got the buff that's huge for this build. Let's kill the boar. There's no one close enough to you, so it's like, we can just do this.
I was gonna go behind the bus and rest first. Now I gotta wait for combat. There we go.
It doesn't take too long though, and that's nice mastery, you know?
Head start.
Yeah.
Since we have
Almost
a good
right-
idea of where most people on the map are, because there's 2 people to the right of you and 1 person above. That's literally everyone on the map, right? It's safe for you to kill that boar. You don't have to worry too much. Do you want to contest the legendary chest about the spawn?
Rather get rank 2 D skill. There we go. Now we go.
Where could they all have gone to?
A new area has been restricted.
Come out wherever you are. Teach them a lesson.
When she throws E like that at you, feel free to jump. Especially, that's definitely an upgrade. But yeah,
That's
feel
automatically equip.
yeah. So when she throws Q at you like that, feel free to immediately jump on her, and then if she W's, if you time D skill correctly, you can ignore her W, and she should be basically dead at that point.
I don't know if I can kill a Luke with this build.
I think you can kill anyone with this build if you get your burst combo off correctly. So you should basically take any fight you can. And
Should I
then
wait for him to
then if
cast
it
a
goes
second Q
badly-
first?
Are they
If he lands the first Q, yeah, sure. Don't use
Because
your E.
I don't want him. Yeah, I don't want him to heal up in the middle of the combo.
The biggest thing you need to make sure is that he uses his E. But don't like wait forever for it.
Is Myth Armor an upgrade on this build?
It can be, but you're not gonna get it this game, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
I
I'd say
prepped it
keep
already.
Do what?
I prepped it already.
Yeah, but we're not. I don't think we're getting myth this game. This is wrapping up to be the very end of the game, and next round is final zone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Hospital still has wolves though.
It does. Just it's such a slim chance. I don't think about it. Is all.
That's like the #1 thing I think of when I play Jackie is transition items. My other dual sword build, I literally end the game with 5 RNG items.
No, I understand. It's just at this point in the game, it's left my mind. Unless you could open the purple crates for it, but I feel like that's your percentage chance at that point is much higher than taking the time to prep items. You've already got to prep though, so I understand. But it's only a situational upgrade if you're up against like the Cicella, for instance.
disappointing?
The temporary safe zone will be designated soon.
Wild animals really do listen well.
But like in this situation, I think that fighting the Cicella there was much more important than coming to do the wolves, even though we got it.
Is it an upgrade though, is what I'm wondering, or is the AP important?
Depends on the matchup. It's an upgrade into Cicella and into Linnox, but against the Luke, who's now dead, it's not. So you can go ahead and do it now.
Eliminating survivors.
However, you also need to keep in mind that that is your source of healing reduction, so if the fight goes long against Cicella, you would rather have the healing reduction.
Everyone
You know.
better be worried.
True. I need to kill one of these chickens for passive.
Drop a camera right
Oh,
here.
they're all dead.
Or actually save your camera, never mind. Oh, that's fine. Just that way we know if anyone's coming up like this. You have to fight her. There you go.
Aren't you?
The temporary safe zone has been designated.
There you are.
Wow. Oh, my W didn't go off. That's why I wasn't there.
You can keep on it. Missed Q, but it's fine. Next auto should kill.
Has
Good
been
shit.
terminated.
Get back in zone.
How many is that?
Someone is consecutively eliminating survivors. Only 2 survivors remain.
Come out wherever you are.
Now I just wait for ult before fighting Cicilla, right?
As long as D seal's up, I think it's fine. You just need to land a Q. The ultimate gives you attack speed, but it's like the D skill is the most important thing. It's basically your ultimate for this build.
It's also a 600 damage burst.
Yes, but I don't think it's going to matter against her. Because look at her build.
Already dead. Disappointing.
She's not very tanky. She doesn't have a lot of HP, so you should be able to one rotation her.
What she also doesn't have is any in-combat move speed. If I W, I can just run her down.
Yes, you just have to make sure that you don't get eat at a bad time.
Go directly to the ER. Teach them a lesson. Wilson.
been perfect there.
A subject has been terminated.
So that's the exact situation where I'm at, like, you need to use D skill to avoid the W knockback.
For our next game.
Oh, you... Okay, I tried to hit her after the W. I forgot that you can't be knocked back during D skill.
Yeah, so that's the biggest and most important aspect of D skill, is you're immune to CC of any kind. So it's like, you want to use it, especially in that case where you're already on D2, use it to avoid that knockback. Because I think if you had done that, you would have won it, because then you're on top of her, and you only need like 4 more autos.
I also probably should have used my food.
Yes. The E was good. We can actually look over that fight for a bit. So let's load this back up. And then this will probably be it for today after we're done with this and talking for a bit.
Do you think you could review a build after this?
Yeah, we can always sit and talk about a build for a second. Okay. A little bit more, bam. Okay, so we start coming down. You have ultimate in like 10 seconds. We hear her, right? We heard her throw Q, so we can assume she has vision of either right here or right here. Just based on the sound.
Based on the sound, I thought she had queued the other side of the thing, which is why I went.
I understand, but knowing where she's coming from, she's probably queuing bush because that's the most likely place for you to be. But regardless, so we get E'd here. So you walk this way. I need you to walk this way. Start working closer to her. Walking along this wall does nothing for us unless you're trying to jump away. And if you are trying to jump away, then you should do it immediately, not try to make a little more distance first. So we want to walk down to close distance a little sooner, and walking towards this wall just takes time. You know, every second counts in this moment. We jump in. You don't land the jump, but it's fine. You know, we're in. Your D-skill's okay. And then this is the big thing, right? You need to D-skill, like, right now. Because then it comes down and you get knocked back. Where if you D-skilled right now, you would have ignored the knockback and done a little bit of damage and been right next to her. And this is pretty much just where you die, because you can't get close enough to her again. You throw D-skill because it's going away anyways.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. That one thing, not D-skilling her W, is what loses you this fight, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, also not using food. I would not have been at half health at that point.
You wouldn't have
Zen
been with the
Vitality is good food.
Yeah, but she does have healing reduction too, keep in mind. So it's not like you would have been... I don't think that would have won you the fight, because even if you're healing, I would say you probably heal up to, like, an extra... It's 900 HP over 15 seconds. The fight gets close to 15 seconds, but you'd probably, with healing reduction taken in mind, only have healed about 300 HP. And, she's overkilled you at this point, because she killed you with auto attack, and then she still has Q afterwards.
Yeah,
So,
I gave up when I was at a quarter health.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I lose. If I had food and was still even at half health, I probably would have ran into red and healed.
Right.
And had a second chance at the fight.
I understand. So, but this is why I said, like, I mentioned it before, that de-skilling that is very important. Remember we talked about last time, knowing what your win con is against certain opponents? That's your win con against Isella, is you have to get on top of her and stay on top of her for a second, and that's one of the ways you're able to do that. For Lennox, it's actually very similar. You want to either get her to use Flay while you still have jump, or descale through her Flay. So when we're looking at the Lennox fight, so we place down the camera, we know she's here. Or she's not here yet, but she's coming. Where the hell is she? Oh, this was
She's
after
dead.
it. Shit. Okay. So Lennox comes in, and we kind of step back. I understand, like, you want to, like, get her to bait Q. I think that was the entire purpose here. Like, you kind of walk close, and then you walk back. You're trying to get her to Q.
Yeah, as soon as she used Q, I jumped on her, I think.
Yeah. So here, what I would have liked to have seen, after the Q, we jump, and then because she's W'ing, you auto, and then de-skill immediately, because she's gonna flay, you know? You can pretty much assume she's going to flay immediately, because it's such a low cooldown, she's gonna want to get it back up again. She played in the wrong direction, which was kind of good for you, I guess, but D-scale just would have been so much damage anyways.
My thought process was the E's a bigger slow than her flay, so I could have stayed on her anyway.
Yeah, but you're a burst character, so you want to just get that out of the way, you know? There's no reason to hold your D-skill in this situation.
My reason for holding D-skill was I didn't want Sisla to just show up and win because I already used D-skill.
You can probably get away, though. We use it anyways. I think this is the situation where we just want to go ahead and pop it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not making an
one.
excuse or anything. I'm just telling you that was
Gotcha.
what I was thinking.
I understand.
It
So,
wasn't
yeah.
just because I didn't want to use D-skill.
So yeah, with this one, it's just keeping in mind that it's like that our Wincon is getting her to use Flay and then sticking on her long enough to use D-skill. It's the same way with Cicella. We do end up killing her, which is great, you know? You played it well. I was questioning if Red Shoes would be better, especially going into the Cicella, but she has healing reduction, so I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought about the Red Shoes for a second. That's why I stood there for just a second. I'm like, is Red Shoes an upgrade? And then I just said, nah, the extra skill damage, which is true damage, is probably just better than the healing through healing reduction.
Right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for, like, the fight analysis. Oh, my screen's stuck. There we go. So, just making sure that we're taking advantage of every aspect of D-scale. It is our burst, so you want to think of it as much damage as possible, but in that situation, it's performing 2 rolls at once, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
I don't think I can make too many other comments on this off of that. Oh, the Wick line, actually. I do want to harp on that one for a second. When we were clearing Wick, I think it's like, well, yeah, a little bit. It's
Yeah,
right here.
I
So
wasn't-
Wick walks up. Yeah, what's up?
I wasn't quite sure if the healing from my W and Uchiwa was going to be out healing the damage she was doing, so I was kind of like testing that.
Right.
I've only ever done Wick with ults
I understand.
before.
So we get this kill. You did very well on this one. Because they come up, you get the Q, that's the biggest thing. We didn't activate W before we D-skill, which I want to test that before we leave because I'm pretty sure it's more damage. But we'll find out. That's, I think, very important for this.
Is it time for hide and seek?
Make
But
sure you use
W for the movement speed.
Yeah, make sure you use ult to proc the bleeding into the test thing. Otherwise, the bleed damage from Q could really throw it out of perspective.
It can.
The ult bleed
But
is
I'm
only
going-
10, so
But I'm going to test with QD skill and without Q, with and without W.
oh, okay. So you're gonna Q it for both.
Yeah. That way I don't
All
have
right.
to worry about a difference, really.
All right, that makes sense.
So we take these, and then you do really well into the Jackie, you back off, and then here's Wick, right? And then that's when I mention it, I'm like, yeah, let's just go ahead and kill Wick. You don't feel like you have good Wick clear, but your Wick clear I think is actually fine. So you Q it, but then you come back. If you wanted to do that, right? Let's say you're thinking like, oh, my W will like out heal this. You have to keep autoing it. Don't do this kiting thing because you can get another auto time in between this, you know? So if
I
you're just
forgot
gonna,
that Wick frickin' stops between attacks.
yeah.
I'm used to kiting jungle camps in League, which don't really stop moving.
So we do eventually get it, thankfully. You wanted to rush it with D-skill, I understand. Jump away, we don't have time to get the resources, it's whatever. So
Everyone's
real
hiding.
fast on this one,
Let's
get
begin.
item, all items, two-hand sword, or no, dual swords, low gear. Spawn a dummy.
It's not
Give
that
it
I'm
70
tired.
defense, I don't
I'm
think it
just
really
giving them a
matters.
head start.
Because most of our damage, I'm pretty sure, is from...
Extra skill damage.
Yeah.
Let's dance together. Here, I'll take your hand. Literally.
I think... 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more. Fuck, there we go, okay.
Will this be our last dance?
Okay, so we'll just test it max level, right? Really fast. So it's going to be...
I'll tell you are.
I did it kind of badly, but that's 13, almost 1400, right? So renew, reset. I didn't mean to reset. Shit, I just meant to remove cooldowns in SP. We'll go back.
That happened. That happened.
I don't think this is good actually because I'm not keeping it consistent. I leveled up too many times, so we'll just keep it here, right? 1 point into each ability, not worry about the rest. Okay. So that's 904. Wait for it to reset.
I think that's 964.
712. Well, I'm not counting the extra bleed damage.
Oh, okay.
So 900
I was just looking at the
versus 740. So that's an extra 200 damage just from using W.
Alright.
So yeah, it does get the bonus damage from this because it still does count on hits. Which there's a little bit of like odd consistency not there, but the way that you know it's working is
Oh, you heal through it.
yeah. We're getting every last hit of this counts as a hit, right? It just doesn't it doesn't proc innate for some reason, which is weird, but it does proc flat amp and it procs on hit effects. So making
Well,
sure
I know
you're
that now. I specifically thought that they just removed that, so I know that now.
yeah. So let's
Before
make
I
sure
thought
that
it
we're
was a
doing
waste of
that.
W timer because then that's time you're not using the move speed from W.
Right.
That's hilarious to watch.
It is.
Let me just slide on over real quick.
So let's make sure we're getting use out of that because it's the biggest thing for your damage.
Well, now that I know about it, definitely.
And then, do you have anything else before we close out?
Just that build that I was
Yep. What's
hoping
the
for you to take a look at. Code is... Oh, I can just tell you, I guess. 397486. For Kiara.
Oh. This one, right? Texty
Yeah,
would love you. This
who?
looks Texty. This looks almost exactly like a route he used to run.
It's a Meteor Claymore route.
Yeah.
You basically run straight to the teleporter from Uptown. You get all of the items that you need on the way. There's 3 things I like about this build. Every zone, you only need 2 items. Everything else is in every other zone.
So a quick adjustment I want to show you, just because it's like this is what Texty used to be known for. You can finish Durandal in this, as well as get green boots and some other bullshit. And you can just grief people in Uptown. Anyone who does like Docked Uptown or anyone who just ends up in Uptown, you should be able to kill them because if you make everything, he used to have a thing where he could show you everything that would make between Hotel and Uptown. You could have level 6 while most people are like level 3 or 4 and you could just get some early grief kills. So maybe experiment with that, but
I'll look at it for another build, but this build has a specific purpose.
right. For the Meteor Claymore aspects, can we not do a different accessory? Because I
get
feel
everything from
like...
Uchiwa.
I think Buccaneer Doubloon would be better. It has crit chance, yes, but the attack power and the lifesteal is kind of nice, actually, if we can take that a step further. I don't think we can, but this would be
Uchiwa
nice.
has more lifesteal.
Yes, it does, but it's just... I don't know, I don't really... I guess on Kiara, it's fine, but like, I've noticed you like to put Uchiwa on everything, and I honestly just want to say I think you overvalue it a little too much.
I just enjoy hybrid characters.
I understand.
And it's a hybrid character item. It's like I used to build Gunblade on everybody in League.
Right.
Because I played characters that used all of the stats. Like, which of Kiara's abilities doesn't use Uchiwa?
I mean, every character can say that, though. You know? Like, every character's abilities are good for flat amp. But
I mean, I guess.
only her ultimate is, like, really benefiting from this. The flat damage only applies once per Q and E and W.
I thought it applied twice to E.
I guess so. It does have 2 hits, yeah, if it reprocs. but that's not too much, you know. Her ultimate though does get a big benefit out of having a bunch of flat amp though. This is solid. I think Meteor Claymore and Kiara is actually one of the, like, if you could fit Dobok somehow for this, like, I know Sheepy used to have a build that he would do for it. I'll be honest though, I think that Pure Crit Kiara is a little bit better than Meteor Claymore. It's, from what we've seen in High Elo, I think the only good Meteor Claymore user is Adela at the moment. But I think this is a good framework for this, you know?
This
like,
is the build that got me to top 200 in ranked duos.
Yeah, no, I do think you have a good framework for this. But all I'm saying is, like, if we take it into solos, I think you might just be better off playing something like this on Adela rather than on Kiara.
I wish I could play Adela, dude. I wish I could play Adela.
If you practice her, I think you could get her. She seems a little bit closer to what you want. We'll get there, though. But yeah, do you have any other questions?
I mean, I guess you're not a Kiara player, so you wouldn't know a ton about how that build functions.
This one, yours?
Yeah.
The only Kiara builds I have any experience with are Red Panther. I've played a decent bit of Red Panther, but I can't give you tips on this.
I recently picked up Hyejin. Is there a good crit Hyejin build?
We actually had a guy yesterday running crit Hyejin. Don't use Shuriken. I know that you might want to, but don't.
I only use Shuriken for amp Hyejin.
Yeah, there's a Zephyr build out there somewhere that you can use, I think. It's this, right here. Hospital, Cemetery, Docks, and you finish literally your entire build except for headpiece.
Sounds a lot like my Aya build.
You'll see a lot of builds use this kind of rotation. So, yeah, this one's pretty good. It's not, like, great, but if you want to play Crit Hyejin, I think it's the best one you can do.
Yeah, because after playing Rio, Hyejin is kind of what I hoped Rio was gonna be.
Yeah? So, it already existed.
Yeah, I was super hyped for Rio, and then, like, she just didn't do what I wanted her to do.
I understand. Alright, so,
Crit
yeah.
was basically invalid on her because of 2 parts of her kit.
Yeah, she just uses E-Nade so much better. So, the big things, I guess, are making sure we're using our abilities kind of correctly. And, I mean, I feel like I haven't given you, like, any big major thing to work on, you know? But
you gave me one big major thing to work on, and I am taking it to heart.
The food, I think, is big, or was there something else?
Knowing your win condition against every character and acting on it.
Yeah.
That's really big, and something I always thought about, my character's good at this. I never really thought about, this is how my character beats this character.
Right, and it'll also help you realize eventually that there are some matchups you're not going to win. So like, I already know on Magnus that against Barbara, I doesn't really feel like I can ever win that no matter what I do.
Did I hear Shoichi versus Chiara?
Yeah, Shoichi has a lot of matchups like that, like Shoichi versus Hyejin. Shoichi is like insanely favored. But because once you identified that as like a hard losing matchup, you know to just avoid it, right? Don't even put yourself in a position where you have to fight them. Just keep distance, don't even let them know you exist kind of thing, and you'll be fine.
And the only other thing about me is I have no idea how to beat a lead idol in any scenario.
Keep in mind that when she's drinking, you can't auto her, so don't waste your time, you know?
Yeah, but then I'm playing somebody who can only auto or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, her W doesn't last too long, so you can get in between it. She's difficult, she's really good right now, and she needs nerfs, so it's like, if you're not playing things that are optimal and she's playing like Cerberus, you're getting tier checked. You know?
Yeah.
So, from that, my other thing is just keep your food on a single damn hotkey and stop clicking it. It's so
I can
much
put the
faster.
food on a hotkey. I can't promise you I'm gonna stop clicking it.
I need you to work on stop clicking it. It is so much faster to just hit the button on your keyboard. You're already got your fingers on QWER. How much harder is it to lift your finger and press 4? You know?
It depends. Am I already pressing another button?
You could do both. That's the beauty of keyboards nowadays. They take multiple inputs. But yeah.
It's... Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so that's pretty much all I've got for you.
All right.
I know.
Well,
but we
thank
have
you
to
for
end it
taking
at
the
some
time to
point.
help me again.
Hey, I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm becoming a better player, and it is taking time, but I'm about as good as you can expect somebody to be in 4 months.
Yeah, no, I think you're doing pretty solid. And don't feel like your progress has to be time gated, right? Don't feel like, well, I'm not top 100 in a year, so I'm worthless. Everyone
I used to
improves at
think my
different
time.
rates.
I used to think I was time gated, but then I started noticing little things to improve and said, no, I'm experience gated.
Right. Because, like, I picked up this game and got top 100 in, like, a month, but I was playing League for a while before I came here, and I already played a lot of OGBS, so I didn't have to learn the crafting mechanics. So it's like...
Yeah, that's
It was
like I
easy.
said, I came from League. I played League since 2009, so like I've got the fighting experience down. It's the things that aren't in League.
Right. So, appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I hope you enjoy your new car.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I hope
It is.
the rest of your stream goes well.
Alright, catch you later.